Hey guys, sorry. Here we go. Bear with me 1 second. We'll be good to go, and I'll stay a little later today. And let me get the tunes, and then we'll get to it. Hey guys, so we're really deteriorating here. 1 second. All right, let's get to it here. I want to make sure that you guys can hear me, right? No problem at all. So, there's a lot going on today, guys. So the NBIS is in front. That's what I'm looking at right now. I'm going to play catch up as much as I can here today. I have so much information that just came out today that it's really hard to go through it all and then be here on time. I do apologize, but it is what it is. There's only so much I can do. There's so much information going on. If I take a look at this NBIS, I just want to point this out. This is your 1 minute bar. Your 1 minute bar marks off the entire level. I hooked in this super advanced keyboard, and I just want to make sure that everything's functioning correctly. So I apologize. Like it's got like biometrics in it, all kinds of cool stuff. Anyway, If I look at this, it's been interesting to say the least. Anyway, if I take a look at these levels and we see how it's going, that's your close. Rejection, runs, goes back to where the algo is. Rejection, right? Tries again. Not today, Satan. Tries again. The algo comes back. Lower low, can't get past the algo. And now you're losing where you are. I'm going to be real clear. I have not gone through the full quarter. I have not listened to the conference call because I'm talking to you guys. But this is really acting like caca. And that is French for not good. So just understand that that is not shaping up to be a good one. So please, just understand that. Other than that, what should we go over? We should start with the ES and just take a look at what's happening here. And we can see from 8 o'clock, from 8:16 on, we're just ripping from 8:30 and we're pushing. As far as the economic data on the day, I'm not going to get into it for time's sake, but I do think yesterday's non-farm payroll took everybody by surprise. I don't have anybody. I get access to pretty much everyone as far as what they're doing on the econ side. I don't have anybody that was at 170, like nobody. So I do think there's something to that. If we take a look Wednesday at 10:30 and we just look at the range, I really think this is how you should be viewing the day and then seeing if you have any chance whatsoever of getting through that. Let me just mark that off. You can see that level as well. And then we'll just mark that off and you can see that battleground as well. So you went wider and then you got super tight and then you went nuts. And then from there, you found your range and now you're getting tighter and tighter. So I do expect this to be pretty darn wild today. I do want to show one level that I think is really important. And I think what you're going to run into here, this is just me, there I go again, thinking. But one of the things, and then I'm going to take a bunch of questions because that's going to be easier that way. But I really think at the end of the day, you have to look and say to yourself, like, did we break out of the range? And the answer is no, you really didn't. But if we look here and we look here, right, and we just get tighter and tighter with it, you'll see it. So I really don't know that you have a clean shot here of breaking out of this. And what I would do is I'd watch these levels really closely today. And one thing here, I'll show you on the cues, because I know a lot of you crazy kids watch the cues. And then we'll get to it. And go here. So on the cues, if we go here and we go to this on the daily, and I'm going to get rid of this for a sec, and then I'll put it back in. Let's go here so I can save it. So I have to come back to it. Come on, little guy. There you go. This is actually a very nice keyboard. Very excited by it. I need a life. All right. So remember this? Look at it. It's funny. Some of you guys actually sent me like fake or like mock-up t-shirts with like sayings on it. I was dying. All right. So you know how we got here, right? We dropped an anchored volume profile, which you can just get right here. Yay. And we drop it on a pain point, right? We love, okay, I was going to say we love other people's pain, but all right, let's not go there this morning. So if you could see where we hit first thing in the morning, that's what you want to watch. And what we want to do here is just make sure that that holds. But that's really been a level. And if you're in the community, you know that, because when we were live yesterday, we're like, this is where you buy. If we hold, we need to hold here. You either buy here or we have a problem. And if you break that, I think that you're going to retest that 600 put wall, and I'll just mark it off. That's where the put wall is. Until then, this idea that I'm just going to break through these levels, and you have a lot up here, like a lot, where, there's your point of control. 620's been really very difficult. And then you're going to get to that 626 level, and then the call wall is up here. So you have a lot going on up there.
U.S. for market movers, Compex, Crocs, Equinix, Fastly, Santis.
Okay. Now I've got some kind of hum at the same time. I don't know if the hum's from my computer, or... no. No, it's not from the computer. It's just in the ether. All right, so let's get that done. And I'm just going to open it up to questions, and then we'll go from there because I know you guys are going to have a ton of them. ACMR, So I think there's a couple things here. These names can 100% work. The problem with this kind of stuff is it's so thin for me to play with that I don't know that I want to. If you understand these names, you 100% want to play with them, but you better understand what you own. And I really feel that way about that kind of name. And so that's not something that I'm personally playing with today, nor is it something that I really want to play with. So just, FYI. In regards to, what else did you have there? AEHR, your testing equipment. I never really understood why this name does what it does when it falls apart. It's crazy where you were when we had all that winning and liberation. But you look at where you're at now, you're trying to break out and you failed, and that's a failed break. So no, I'm not overly excited by that one. It's not one that I think is the cat's pajamas. It's certainly not one that I am, that I'm chasing. And, that's kind of where my head is with it. I don't see me chasing that at all. So, I'd really just watch that and see how it goes. But no, I have no interest in chasing that. Not even a little bit. It's interesting because your rejection here of that level, there's your trend. You broke. You came back to your neckline and you rejected. I don't see, I think we marked this off last time, right, Kev? We should have like a meetup in like New York or something. It'd probably be fun. Oh my God. I don't think you can touch it. I don't like trades like this. I don't like this. I'm looking at the setup and it's reminding me of these. That's where my head's going. It just looks exactly like this. And then we're just going to reject again and everyone's going to get crushed. I don't like those setups. It's one thing if I consolidate, it's the breakdown, like it's the actual structural breakdown of the trend that bothers me. It vexes me. And I'll show you what I mean by it. And, it's interesting. I was coaching this dude last night and it just reminds me of like, you forget some stuff, but like, it's the simple things. Like if you bought it when it crosses, like you're crossing to the upside, right? Like if you bought it when it crosses to the upside, when the 12 and the 22 cross, and then you're selling it when the 12 and the 22 cross, like your life's a lot easier, right? And I'm talking about like valleys, but even stuff like this. All right, I'm out, I'm back in, right? I'm out, maybe I got back in, right? And you're going to get chopped up. You usually don't do it when they're declining. When the 12's declining, you usually don't do it. You stay away from that till you get an inclining and pretty strong 12 out of it, like something with a trajectory. But when I take that stuff off and you look at the simplicity of what I'm suggesting, like your life gets a lot cleaner, right? So when I see things like that, I put the brakes on. Like sometimes I'll just run charts like this and I'll just go, oh, okay. So, and I'll just look at things like this and get rid of it. Because all it is data, right? That's all we're looking at is data. But like when you run stuff like this and you see it, you're like, like it didn't really, I don't really have the cross, right? So, but when you start running them, you're like, okay, I don't really have the cross. So, do I have to panic? Do I not have to panic? Should I have just stayed in? But you see what I'm saying? So it'll help you sort through names, just doing it this way without anything else on it. Where am I going? So when you see BA and you see it doing this, like, is that really the one that I have to play and go long? So when Kev brings it up, what do I think? I don't see how you don't test that, bro. Like I really don't. Like, why are people going to go near that? And And, you're coming in the midterms too. 230 is an enormous level. 225 is a huge freaking level. And I don't think midterms are going to go very well. And, people are like, well, what does that have to do with this? You might want to watch 237.50 pretty close, though. That's your put wall for the week, at least for the week. Let me just see something. And they moved up 2 days ago. So they're actually moving their stops up and getting tighter. So you're going to want to watch 237.50, Kev. The Sam's so interesting. I just, you got to learn who you are. And this one, it does make sense, man. It does, man. It does make sense. I keep looking at it. I really like this company. This new generation of people don't drink, huh? Losers. Smarter than we were. Okay. All right. That got aggressive. Hold on. Too many lines. Probably smarter than we were. All right. I know, man. You're up there already. You know what I don't see? I always look at what I see and don't see in the community. It's why I love doing these like pre-markets. I don't see comments of people asking me if software is really in trouble, which makes me think it might be in more trouble than we think it is. I think you got to get through that, John. BRT, I have a you got to listen to that conference call. You want to take one thing away from today? So I trade the name, but I have a friend that was like leaning on me a little bit about it. And so I took a much larger position than normal. And then I listened to the conference call and I literally remember just looking at this thing going, I need to own a lot of this. Like they were literally laughing on the call at how ridiculous it was. So were the analysts. But the call was last night at 11 a.m. You can go look at the slides on their website for you guys that want to do fundamental analysis. We're going to start doing more of that on these channels, more deep dives, I think. I think it might be fun to start doing deep dives on names. VRT, like I remember looking at the call and just like laughing my ass off. Excuse my language, but so we'll go from there. Hold on 1 second here. I got to do something. Hold on. Thank you, little British guy. All right. Where were we? What were we talking about? Oh, how awesome I was. That's right. What's up, Jay? It's a cool shot. What city is that? What's up? Such a cool back shot. AT&T, you're going to make me do it, aren't you? I don't buy this, and I'm not saying that's right, but they're definitely diversifying out into some of this where they're buying satellite, assets. They have a ton of cash. It makes a lot of sense for what they're doing. I don't buy it because they're losing share to people like TMUS, those kinds of guys. I'm not saying that's the right thing, but that's what I've been doing. And I'm not saying it's right. I mean, like it's insane. So I might have to really reevaluate my thought there, right? And what I'm doing. I might have to really reevaluate that whole thing and go from there. So I might have to reevaluate a lot of my life choices lately. All right. So what else do we have? ASTS, I shorted last night. I couldn't tell people in the room because there's actual fanatics in the room about the company. I think what you want to do, Jay, is watch this. You have a process that happens every time they do a secondary, right? Or they do a convert. And I mean, they're putting freaking rockets in space and unfolding them into satellites. So I think that you almost have to give them a pass at how much money they're raising. You know, I'm trying to figure out where I'm getting a burrito from. These guys are out there like literally launching rockets into space and unfolding satellites. So let's call it what it is. They issue the secondary, the convert. It's always usually oversubscribed. People short the equity ahead of the convert. Then the next part of it is this: the convert prices. After the convert prices, people get angry because they don't get as much of the convert as they want. Then what they do is they look at the pricing of the convert, didn't get what they wanted. They proactively shorted, I'm trying to figure out the right way to word this, and I'm just going to call it what it is. They proactively shorted the stock against their convert, and then they don't get what they expect. And then what do? They unfold it, right? Just like Bluebird 6, boom. See how I tied that all together? And so then what happens is then it starts to rally. So the way to really look at this is to wait for the pricing and then go from there. I shorted it last night. I made nothing except I got aggravated. You might hold in here. You usually need to price first, and I don't believe that it's priced yet. So we'd want to watch that level and go from there. But I don't believe that you've priced yet, and we're going to have to watch that. What's up, Mon? Good morning. I feel like I didn't see you yesterday. Where am I? Lumen. I own this. I own that. I own this one too. I just left them in an account. Not really feeling it right now. So, yeah, I don't think this is going as well as you think it is. So I'll tell you exactly what I do with these kinds of things. I actually just watch, and I don't have I'm just going to tell you that. So I use this cloud, and no, it's not just an EMA cloud, but what I tend to do is I watch where the algorithms are when I don't know anything and I'm trying to make a decision, and I'll just look at the when. I'll take out the what. I'll just look at the when. So if I look at this, and I don't even need those, I can just go from here. Just look at the bars. So you can see the algorithmic bar, right? Here's your algo, right? And so news hits, the algo trims everybody, takes everybody out, takes as much as they can, right? And they just sell, and then they cover. And then from there, what do? It rips up, and then you watch how you act at that level. The other level that you always want to watch is you're going to watch, where is it, bro? Stay with me 1 second. There. And so then you want to watch the close, right? And so they change their mind, gets back up, starts to roll over. They change their mind again. The algo, right? You have more sellers there, tries again, can't get near it, and then you're fighting that there. If you take that and you overlay it with this, it becomes really freaking clear when you were up here that you had a problem. Say it, look at it, say it. So you guys can screenshot this, and when someone tells you that RSI doesn't work, you don't even have to say anything. You just send them the chart. That's all you have to do right there. Just send them that chart and then go from there. All right. Okay. But I don't know. It's not something I would touch. What do you got? I think you got to be super careful here. So here's the question. Thank you. I'll make sure it goes to St. Jude's as always. If I look at this, the very first thing that stood out to me was this morning. I'll just show you. First off, I had massive positions in this from like 260. I'm out. Like I'm out of anything major with MU. I'm out of anything major with SanDisk, and not because I think they're over, but because they broke. And I think what you're dealing with is I think you're dealing with a rotational short squeeze. And I hope I'm wrong, and I hope they break out and they follow through, and we've worked off the overbought and yada yada yada. And maybe we did, and they did a great job of getting me out. But I'll show you this. You are flipping in here, right? If we look at this on the hourly, you can see it. You're already overbought. Go to the 15, you're already overbought, and you're starting to roll over. Today's going to confirm that. So you're going to know a lot in an hour here. But for me, you're in no man's land. So like buying these things before they break out and have closing breakouts, I have no interest in that whatsoever. For me, looking at them and how this is set up, you had to close on the other day. I think you have to look at this stuff. It is what it is, and say to yourself like, oh, all right, well, we're already kind of rejecting in here. And I'd watch that level from the 4 a.m. level and see what you really do. I certainly wouldn't be chasing things up. In this market, has it paid to chase things that are up 15, 20 points? You're in a non-trending market, man. So like you don't have a trend. If you don't have a trend, I'm sorry, get rid of that. You don't have a trend. If you don't have a trend, like you can't, you're buying breakouts in a trendless market. You better be in the sector rotation. And that's not the sector rotation right now. So I see them, but really look at who made money. You came in short because it broke the put wall. So you had to technically think about it, right? So you had to come in, and then you said, oh, I don't care that it broke the 12. I don't care that it's at the low. I don't care that it broke the put wall. So no one of any consequence that's institutional thinking about this or a trader is going to hold that. They're just not. So then you come in, and then people would actually short this, assuming you have a shot at 500, right? So then you come from here and you flip. And now when you flip, who do you think they trap? They trap short sellers. So now you have short sellers trapped, and they hoped and prayed for another day. And then they come into today. And now they're like, oh my God, I know I should have covered, right? The hopers and the dreamers. It's the other side of the hopers and the dreamers trade. You're going to find out real quick today after they cover what's going to happen. I really do like the storage names a lot and the memory names a lot. I just think you need to be super careful here. If you were in a trending market, I'd feel a lot different. SMR. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Moving to where? Where's that moving to? Seagate announces exchanges hold of 600 million principal amount of exchangeable notes. Oh, I'd want to understand that because that could be a big thing for them. I got to look at that. I don't know what's going on there. What's up, Sam? MET, thanks. METC. No, you can't go near that. What's up, Jacob? Bro, you have no idea. No, it was me today. I was a mess. What's going on, Lynn? How's Jersey? Was there? There was an earthquake by Chile. Yeah, it is, but I don't know. I'd be careful. I think the easiest trades are just these different exchanges. I think the easiest trades when I look at this, like Japan, EWY, Taiwan Semi, Like these are like the simplest trades in the world. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. What else we got here? I'm just going to run through them real quick. Make good choices today. No. I got energy drink, First Form energy drink. Bro, you know where the bottom on HIMS is? When they get rid of the CEO and the management team. Until they get rid of that entire team, there's no bottom. They are ridiculous. You're issuing drugs and you don't even have, and you've done nothing to do it. Like the management is a disaster, like just disaster. You're welcome, bro. Did it price already? It's priced and allocated already? Is it? I was having technical difficulties today. I know that App Lovin', you got downgrades already. I didn't think it was that bad. I'm not that plugged into it, Catherine. I'd watch 408. I'd watch 408 like a hawk if you're long, because if you break, you got some at 400, but man, you break 408, which is that low thing right here, like little right there. But man, you break. I went long yesterday. Here. And I was laughing because I'm like, all right, just keep the position size small because this thing's wild. And then like there's a bar, like I saw it in here. I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I know it was up in here. I'm sorry. It was like $10. I'm like, yeah, you know, homie doesn't play that. So I'm like, all right, I'm out. I kicked the rest of it. I did okay on the trade, but I'm like, I'm not playing this game. And because, you know, you don't know what you're going to get when they start the Q&A. That's the whole thing. And you can kind of see now you're getting a bunch of nonsense. Yeah, they had great earnings. This name's been on my radar for like ever. And it's like one of those names that I you know, it hit like the old like Market Smith stuff. And I kept looking at it going, why does it keep doing this? And then you like look at it. It's like insane. It's absolutely insane. And you like, you never really worried about it, except, you know, when we had all that winning and liberation. What's up, Grace? It's crazy. Like whatever they were saying, just stop. Yeah, I own that. I started buying it last night. And they have REITs in Singapore, do they? Yeah, I didn't know. The only thing I did was I went through it and said, okay, I bought it. I bought it last night. I couldn't get it. I don't have any real size on it, but I couldn't get in fast enough because I wasn't buying this. I wasn't going to buy this up 100 and then figure out what the hell I was going to do this morning if it was flat. But they crushed. They absolutely crushed, and no one's paying attention to it. I got to jump, guys. I'm super, super late, and it's on me today. I know. But I got to go. Make good choices today. See you.